everyone, my name is Pixlriffs. Welcome back to Decidedly Vanilla. It's Monday, and the museum entrance has been developing. I really like the way this is turning out so far. It's definitely not finished, but it feels a lot more like the scale of what I wanted. It might have been a little bit difficult to get the feel for how big I expected this to be from just the entrance itself in the last episode, but perhaps now the sides have been added, and these pillars, you may kind of get a feel for the scale we're going with. And this is definitely not going to be it either, but this is definitely a start. And I was really happy with how these wall designs came together. I wanted to use some kind of different, lesser used texture inside of here. I started off with clay blocks, just like unbaked clay. And then I converted all of that into bricks and came up with this, which I like a lot better. It was just a lot less grey, ultimately. I didn't want the entire build to be super grey. So this is what we went with. And lots of these kind of stone brick frames just to keep it a little bit more like what people are used to. So it's not like super difficult to look at, you know. Sometimes if you use a ton of textures and colours and that kind of thing, it can be difficult to look at. Grey helps to make things a little bit easier on the eyes. And I was doing a lot of this in the stream we had on Saturday, which was really nice, actually. I had a lot of fun on that stream, which is one of those things that it's really strange to say because I always have fun on streams, but that was like the idea of what a stream should be for me. It was nice and chill. We did a bit of building. There wasn't any pressure from people to like go on multiplayer servers and play mini games with everyone, which, don't get me wrong, I enjoy doing, but when people request it over and over and over again, it starts to get a little bit tiring. So I was really happy to be able to log in, chat with you guys, just hang out and get some progress done on this build, because I really want this build to go not like super fast, but as quickly as possible, just so we can get the exciting bits of the museum underway. And about those exciting bits, I have decided, and I decided this quite a while ago, but I just thought it was a good reason to do something. I'm going to work on the path, by the way, because I don't like the way this path is turning out so far. The andesite down the middle isn't really doing it for me. I've got a jack-o'-lantern under here so that the piston will actually provide a bit of light, and I've done that in the staircase. Over here, jack-o'-lanterns underneath there. Pistons are really good because they let light through, and hopefully that remains in the game. I have noticed, however, that pistons now push jack-o'-lanterns. I'm not sure if that still applies to slime blocks, but they were one of the unmovable blocks in the game, so I'm not sure if that has been taken out, like, intentionally, or if that was, well, presumably it's been taken out intentionally if it was taken out at all, but it's just an interesting change, and I wonder if anything's happened to like melon blocks and stuff like that, because those were some of the only unmovable blocks you had aside from like note blocks and obsidian and stuff. Everyone's just going to have to use obsidian for their slime block contraptions. So I'm just considering what to do about this path, and I could make it all the 1.9 path blocks, which I've already got kind of along here as sort of this almost like under flower bed kind of thing, except you can't put flowers on this because it will revert back to dirt or grass. So I'm not sure I want to overuse the path blocks here. It does add a nice sense of depth. I think maybe the colour is sort of right, but I don't know. Maybe like path blocks with wood down them. It just feels like a barnyard or something, you know? This feels more like the kind of texture you would find in like a farm environment or something. I don't know. So I don't think the path blocks are right for it, but I'm going to work on this while we chat, because one of the things I want to do with this museum project is get other people on the server involved. It'd be a nice way to create collaborative content, and that's going to start off by taking the form of people kind of having quests in a way. Like, I'm going to have a notice board up somewhere. You know what? Sandstone would be good. Maybe we should go and get some sandstone from the desert. Let's go do that. So the idea is that there might be like either a kind of notice board up saying like these are the blocks I'm looking for, or people can come to me individually and we'll do like a collab video where I give them an assignment and maybe both of us go out together and try and find something, or they go out for their video, and it's just like an easy way of them getting content basically for their channels. If they're kind of stuck for an idea this week, pop over to the museum, see what Pix needs. And, oh, this is going to be a good place to harvest some sandstone from. There's a little bit floating around here. This is kind of a nice looking cave, actually. I might explore this a little bit further later on. But yeah, they can just pop over, see what I need for the museum, and then go out and get it. Kind of Indiana Jones style, you know, tracking down artifacts for me for the museum. And it's always going to be more interesting if you find stuff in interesting places. So, for example, if I want to get, like, I'm going to display one of every block and item in the game. That's the concept behind this museum. So if I want to get like a gold ingot, for example, then I could just find a block of gold underground and smelt that and have an ingot, and that would be super easy to do. But it would be really cool if the gold ingot came from like a loot chest in a desert temple, for example. Something like that. Like, it's kind of pyramid gold, you know? It's just makes it a little bit more interesting, gives it a little bit more history. That's something to like write on the wall next to it or something like that. So that's the kind of thing I'm looking for, and I imagine that will make for some pretty fun content once I get the museum rolling. That's why I want to have progress on the museum proceed kind of as quickly as possible, just so we can get exhibit rooms put together, and then that way people can start bringing in stuff. I can start doing collab content with people looking for artifacts and interesting stuff for the museum. That's the idea anyway, and I think this is going to be a really, really fun project. There's also going to be the opportunity for people to come in and curate their own exhibits at some point in future. Like, I plan to do a community exhibition hall in here where people can curate their own stuff. They can come in and make an exhibit that is either like related to their YouTube channel even, and they can kind of put some stuff about their own content there. Like, Paige could do a whole exhibit about the Wither, for example, that kind of thing. And yeah, ultimately the idea is for this to be a bit more of a community project than just look at Pix and what he can build, you know? So that's where I'm going with this, and I think the path is looking okay. I might want to add a couple of sort of accents and stuff to this just to make it stand out a little bit, because Sandstone has a great connected texture when it comes to the regular sandstone blocks, and then you can vary the texture a little bit with, I guess, with sand as well. You can vary it with sand, you can vary it with stairs upside down to give that cracked texture that's on the bottom of sandstone blocks. You know what I really need for this, guys? Actually, yeah, you know what I really need? I need endstone brick. So this is going to have to do for now, because we're not going to the end for a while, and there's no way of getting endstone without going there. So, yeah, there's some sand in here, cool. I really want to have endstone brick as part of this pathway, so we will have to look into that at some point in future, but obviously that's not on the table for now. We're not planning on going to the end anytime soon, because everyone is still only just getting their series together, series started on this server. But I think endstone brick is going to be a really nice material, and now that piston just sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm going to keep it there for now because it's lighting and I don't want to change it, but we will have to figure out something else to do with that in future. I've put these here as well. These are going to be sort of lanterns and things. There's going to be alternate lighting fixtures around, so it may be that we can take this out entirely and just put another lamp in somewhere. But that's looking better. That's looking a little bit more like the vision I had for it. I just wish there could be a brick texture in here somewhere. I guess I could, you know, texture pack it in if I wanted to, but that just wouldn't be how I operate. Because when I do stuff with texture packs, it always kind of makes me think nobody else on the server can see this build this way, which is why I stick with the default texture pack, and why recently I have sort of stopped watching people that I'm really into watching, people like B00, whose presentational style I absolutely love and whose building style is superb, has some fantastic building chops, knows what he's doing 100%, 110%, but he started using his own texture pack now, and on the Crewcraft server he's using the Sphax texture pack, which is similar enough to default, but just changes the look of the way you build things, and means that if I were to rebuild stuff like that in my own survival world, I would have to use his texture pack, which is alright if you're on a single player world, I think, because then the only time anyone is seeing it is when you're seeing it or when your audience is seeing it. But if somebody's just playing on the server for survival multiplayer kind of servers, then you'll have to be using the same texture pack or it just doesn't work for me. Anyway, that aside, we have ourselves a decent looking pathway. I think that's going to be alright. I'm going to experiment with ways of changing up the texture. I don't want it to have, like, a lot of the time when you build paths like this, especially because of the cracked texture in the sandstone, a lot of the time you'll put in stairs and stuff like that, so that it feels like there's a pothole in the path or something. I don't want to do stuff like that with this museum build, because I want it to feel like it is very put together. I've been avoiding using cracked stone bricks more than just like one block out of every 200 or so, because I don't want this place to feel run down. I'm done building ruins for the time being, at least, and so I'm trying to keep the paths looking neat but still kind of textured, you know. I wonder if maybe throwing in the occasional grass path block might work, though. Let's find out, just because I want there to be a little bit of height variation. I don't know if I like it. That's the problem. I don't know if that looks any good, or maybe there just has to be more kind of variation in it. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm just going to go through... I'm churning through grass blocks here, but it's fine. It's fine. It's going to be okay. I need to sleep. Let's get some sleep. I've had coffee this morning, by the way, which is kind of a weird... it's a weird thing for me. I don't normally start my day with coffee, but I just needed a bit of energy. It felt right this morning. So excuse me if I'm babbling a little bit, but that's what happens to me under the effects of coffee. Now, maybe this black kind of... I've been mining a little bit, and I've got myself... Where are they? So many coal blocks right there, so definitely got a huge supply of those, and I've been working out what else to do with them, hence this bit. And this is going to turn out into a kind of... maybe a fountain square, or at least some kind of round area out here that's going to split the path around it, just for a bit of variation in the grounds in front of the museum. So that's going to take a little bit of planning, and I might move this coal stuff around if I decide I don't like it. But it's quite a nice contrast with the sandstone, so maybe I'll keep that in some form, if not how it is now, because it just looks like this big black oil slick over the grass or something like that. So we will get rid of that and potentially move the sandstone stuff around in the path. So that's going to work. I think that should be good. Maybe the grass path block can be implemented elsewhere. I've already got it in here, and it looks alright in there. So we will see. We'll see what we can do. I'm going to head back over to Farhaven and grab a couple of things. There was one thing I meant to do in the last episode, but I completely got distracted by visiting KB's general store, so I do want to go and check out if anybody has been using my emerald ore donation station, preservation station, whatever I ended up calling it, something with an Asian. Anyway, so yesterday we had a really good day on the channel. Yesterday was a day of firsts, and I know a lot of you might have been expecting an Ask a Minecrafter episode on Sunday, and I am working on one. I've picked the topic for it and everything. Don't ask what it is, I want it to be a surprise. And yesterday, instead, I put up my first kind of map showcase video, and I had found that map literally the day before and just thought, I need to share this with people. If people don't go on Reddit or on Twitter and might not have seen this, I need people to see this map, because it was absolutely astounding, the work that had gone into that map. I loved it. And as a board gamer, as somebody who's played like Settlers of Catan and stuff, I'm attracted to that kind of design because it looks like a board game. It looks like something you could just sit down and play with a bunch of friends in an evening. And there are some really interesting things you could do with that map if you had the time, which unfortunately I don't, because I'm too busy working on my other series and work and life in general. But it would be really cool to do a survival series there. It would be really cool to use that as like a creative world and build plots kind of inside the hexagons, stuff like that. It would be kind of fun. But yeah, did my first map showcase, really positively received from everybody. I want to thank everyone for their support on that, and I will definitely show you guys some more maps in future if you want to check those out. We also had the first video that was requested of me by a game developer. Now, I've done kind of little indie games and stuff before, and I think they may even have found me because of the little showcase I did of Window Frame, that Game Jam game that Daniel Linson made. And they got in touch with me via email. It wasn't like a sponsor thing or anything. They weren't paying me to show off their video, but I liked the fact that they approached me about it and said, hey, we're actually fans of your channel, like, we like your content. You play kind of similar games to this. We've got this game that's coming up on Steam. It's a little indie title. Want you to check it out. So I played Black Sea Odyssey, and it was decent. I found it quite an interesting experience. Let's check out... Oh, looks like somebody may even have donated some emerald ore. 6 blocks! Oh, yes! Oh, superb. Well done, whoever that was. Might have been KB and Kane, maybe, because, to be honest, I was having a go at them a little bit. In good faith, in good jest, I was having a go at them about not not preserving the emerald ore, not silk touching it, and giving it to me. So, yeah, we have 6 blocks of emerald ore now. That's fantastic. I'm going to put that in my ender chest, because I will lose it if I put it anywhere else. But, yeah, that's That's that. So yeah, we played Black Sea Odyssey. I had a bit of fun doing that. It wasn't as well received, obviously, as my other videos because I think a lot of the time people are just looking for Minecraft content or games they know from me. Like, I'm not necessarily a YouTuber people go to discover new games. So it's kind of interesting experimenting with that content and finding out what else I can do with my channel from time to time. By the way, I didn't really introduce this as a feature of this house before, but I worked out that you could have this kind of ceiling box up here. That's what I've been calling it. I have no real other name for it. It's kind of like an attic, I guess, but also not. But it's roof access. Like, having these trapdoors on the wall means you can kind of flip them down like this, and from the staircase, if you want to, you can flip them all down like so, and then push a button to get out onto the roof like this. And I wanted to do something else with the roof as well, but never really got around to it, and I think having a flat roof looks nice. Now, this looks absolutely terrible from up there because of all the daylight sensors and the lamps being exposed and everything, so I might do something to cover this over in future, maybe just like a bunch of wood slabs up here or something like that, and it's got like the top of this water source block that runs all the way down to the bottom of the building. But I just like the way you could work that stairwell into this kind of pattern, and you could have the trapdoors on the wall as decoration but also give them function as a staircase. It's kind of the equivalent of having one of those attic ladders that you pull down out of the ceiling, you know? So I thought that was kind of a neat feature. What else were we going to do while we were here? Oh yes, I I received some off-camera messages from the Eldritch Abomination known as the Wither, and she mentioned that payment had been left for the books that I dropped off in the waterfall cave. So I'm going to ride tugboat over there, probably leave him a safe distance away, and we will see what the Wither has left us as payment. I didn't end up leaving any kind of payment request book because, you know, when you bill somebody that can potentially destroy the entire world, then you kind of want to, there it is, over there, that's the waterfall cave, you kind of want to be a little bit kind of charitable in a way, so we will see what the Wither has left us. But yeah, the other thing I did yesterday, that, well, kind of came out yesterday, was my buddy Zlo, who is one of the server mates from DV, but recently is playing a lot more on the full stack server. He has a bunch of different survival servers, so he's kind of like an occasional player on DV. He has started a new Hermitcraft recap series. And if you guys aren't familiar with the Hermitcraft server, then you are missing out, because it's kind of between that and Mindcrack and maybe like a couple of other servers, it is one of the most prestigious, I guess, Minecraft servers that are out there, because so many of the members are seasoned Minecraft players. They're really talented people. They're people who are constantly pushing the envelope in terms of building design, in terms of redstone, in terms of all sorts of stuff like Etho, DocM, like Zoom Void, Mumbo Jumbo, all of those guys are playing on there. False Symmetry, like there's a ton of them. And he started this recap series that's kind of spun off from another recap series he was doing, and he asked me to do voiceovers for it because he's Russian and doesn't have like a proper native English speaking voice, and he wanted somebody like that for the channel, and I volunteered, and it was great fun. So I'm going to leave a link in the description and probably annotated on screen if you guys are watching on desktop. You guys can, there's no Wither in here today, that's good. You guys can check that out if you want to, and leave a like on it for us, because we're really hoping this thing gets off the ground. What have we got? Oh, hello. So we've got a name tag, some diamond horse armor, and a bunch of rails. Okay, right, I'll take it. I'll take it from the Wither. Thank you very much, Wither. Much appreciated. I will just throw these sticks on the ground, leave them to despawn, that's not a problem. But yeah, okay, so Diamond Horse Armor. I'm not sure I want to put this on Tugboat, to be honest, because he's already got Iron Horse Armor on, and I feel like if I put Diamond Horse Armor from the Wither on my horse, then the horse might become possessed and start running me into all the cacti or something. I don't know. It's probably not particularly safe. So I'm just going to fill this sand hole in here and be on my merry way. But at least we got some sort of payment for that, right? At least our effort did not go unrewarded to a certain extent. But yeah, I think I had probably better leave this in a safe place. The rails and stuff I will use because I'm pretty sure you don't get any enchanted rail in this game, but you never know. So yeah, yesterday was a day of firsts, and I hope you guys enjoyed them if you watched them. really looking forward to seeing what else we can come up with for the channel and for future collaborative projects. And it's kind of interesting doing collab stuff that isn't just make a Minecraft video together in the traditional sense, you know, isn't just like build something or explore something together on camera. It's more like participate in this kind of ongoing project, kind of do voiceover work for a recap video, kind of provide story and stuff. And that's the kind of thing that's happening over on B-Ran's series right now, is some of us are kind of providing voices for this almost like story series, this visual novel looking series that he's got going on. It feels like one of those traditional sort of RPGs, like Dragon Quest kind of style RPGs. Is it Dragon Quest? I forget. Or like Breath of Fire or something like that. So I'm really excited to see where that goes as well, and I might be providing a few lines for that here and there. So you guys should definitely check out B-Ran series if you haven't already, and of course check out everyone else who's on this server. Their links are always in the description. At least if you go to the Decidedly Vanilla website, you will find them there as well. Getting horses across rivers is a pain, you guys. I don't have a lead with me at all times, so Tugboat is not really living up to his name. He's kind of becoming the worst possible water transport ever. But yeah, we're nearly back at the museum now, so I'm going to call it here for the moment. I will do a bit of building work today, and I will put this episode out a little bit later so you guys can see today's progress on the museum. So, after a little bit of work, this is what we've got. I'm really liking the feel of this place. It's got this kind of nice open plaza feel right now. I took away the HUD just so you can see things in better detail, because shields and stuff in your hand just takes up way too much space on the screen. I just want to show you guys what I've been doing here. So yeah, decided to change up the landscape a little bit. Didn't want things to be completely flat and wanted this to kind of lead up to the naturally formed terrain that was up here. So we got ourselves a nice little sandstone staircase following on from the sandstone path. Still really want ender brick for this, and endstone brick, whatever it's called. I think everyone just calls it ender brick. And yeah, I want to go and get some of that before we fight the dragon. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but I decided to go and get myself the redstone lamps and daylight sensors. Well, they're kind of moonlight sensors. They're inverted so that they will pick up moonlight instead of daylight. They'll come on at night, and so you'll probably see them coming on as the sun begins to set right here. But yeah, this is the way it's looking so far. Decided to keep some path blocks in just for a bit of texture, and they work really well with the sandstone like this, actually, in a kind of larger square, well, circle kind of environment, you know what I mean, like a plaza. And yeah, this is how it's turned out. I decided to do a little flower bed kind of thing. It originally started off as like a roundabout, but then I decided to put the staircase in either side, and there's something about symmetry that really helps make things look right. Like if I just built one of these staircases on its own, I think I would get a little bit weird about it, because there's bits where it's 3 wide and 4 wide and 2 wide, and there's just little bits that you could walk off here, which on its own would not feel so intentional. But it's kind of like when you have 2 people dancing, you know what I mean? Like if you have one person just dancing by themselves, sometimes it can look a little bit goofy, a little bit weird, but then you have 2 people dancing, doing the same dance in sync, and somehow it just looks like more organized and intentional, you know? So I've kind of done that here, and it's turned out pretty well. Yes, lamps are on, fantastic. So that is working out pretty well. So yeah, this is a nice little view, and I figure this is the view people are going to get of the main entrance as they first arrive at the museum, which is kind of cool. There's like this little balcony that you can look out over the grounds, and there's going to be kind of hedge little sections on either side, maybe little flower beds and stuff. Haven't quite figured that out yet. Haven't really done anything to the interior apart from that staircase, but I figure the interior can come later. This is just me kind of getting stuff figured out first and foremost. So I'm going to sleep while we're here. I'm on the server with Paige right now, but we're just chilling and chatting. The thing now is I want to get myself some endstone brick, but I don't want to have us all fight the dragon, because like I was saying, some people are still kind of getting prepared. Some people are not quite, they're not able to come onto the server as regularly as I am, for example, so they're not quite as well established, and I don't want to send everyone into a dragon fight without them having a chance to get prepared first. So what I'm proposing and this is something we will probably do in a future episode, is that a bunch of us get together, we take a trip to the end with completely disposable gear and an ender chest. We're going to mine as much end stone as we possibly can without the dragon killing us, throwing us off the island or whatever, and then we stick everything in the ender chest, we throw ourselves into the void, respawn in the overworld, and then take all the end stone out of the ender chest, and I can use it to make end stone bricks for this pathway. That's the plan, at least. It's not going to involve going to the end cities or anything like that, because let's face it, the end cities can wait, and I don't need purple yet. And if I wanted to get purple, I guess I could, but I also don't want to go to the end islands without fighting the dragon first. I want to kind of make it like fair for everybody in a way, so I don't want to have access to stuff that other people don't and so forth. So we're going to have to fight the dragon at some point, but if I want some endstone brick, then I'm going to need to do things that way. So what we're basically planning now is a heist on the end, which I'm really excited about. I think it's going to be really fun. So hopefully you guys will see that in a future episode, but that's going to be it for today. Hope you guys are liking the way this looks. If you guys want to suggest what I could do with this area up here, like I've been considering kind of giving it a roof or a canopy. I'm not sure what sort of material to build it out of yet, or if I should continue these pillars upwards, leave that open, and then do something a little bit further up. I'm not sure, but I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Let me know. Thanks very much for watching Decidedly Vanilla. My name has been Pixlriffs. Leave a like on today's episode if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye for now.